The NFL Power Ranking Top 10 going into Week 8. Now, before we get to Colin's ranking, y'all know the drill. Let's get to mine. So going into last weekend, this is where we were at right here. And boy, did we have a shakeup. Look at the new top 10, the new list. As you can see, Miami drops all the way to 5. We had concerns. Last week, we talked about it. We said Miami has not beat a team over 500 since Week 3 of last season. Miami, if you take out the 70-point game going into the Carolina game, they would have had a negative point differential. So we saw that against Philadelphia. Now, some other teams like San Francisco, y'all know that I don't drop teams heavily off of like one loss or one win, stuff like that. But when there's injuries, there's all kind of other stuff involved, I will drop teams. San Francisco's had 2 bad performances. San Fran has some issues. And now they're hurt. As of right now, today, I'm filming this on a Wednesday. Brock Purdy is not starting next game. Sam Darnold is. So a lot of question marks with San Francisco. You're talking about Deebo Samuel still out, Trent Williams injured, and now they're going to Sam Darnold. So had to drop them. Detroit got absolutely embarrassed, absolutely boat raced by the Ravens. Not a good look for Detroit. The Bills, again, disappoint. Somehow they hold on to the top 10. If you're counting at home, 11 would have been Seattle, honorable mention, and 12 would probably be the Browns. Those would be the honorable mention teams. The NFL is in a weird spot right now. Talk about a week-to-week league. I mean, the only real constants, the only real for sures right now, I would say, are Kansas City and Philadelphia. I can't even call Jacksonville for sure. I can't call Baltimore for sure. The only 2 teams that I'm really confident in what I'm going to get week in and week out are KC and Philadelphia. So wild top 10. Let's go ahead and see what Colin has to say about the top 10.
Herd hierarchy on a Tuesday.
Love the
Herd hierarchy.
Time is now. Let's go.
The top 10 NFL teams according to Colin. Number 10.
I pushed back. I called them the fake Gucci loafers of the NFL.
10 is a lot, but if he had him at 8, I understand it. Honestly, if he had them at 8 last week, I'm surprised they're in the top 10. I mean, they had a huge drop for me from 1 to 5, but Miami, here's Miami's issue. 1, they haven't beat a good team. That's not good. And 2, the defense and line play is problematic. And we saw Philadelphia just completely dominate in those parts of the game. So I love Miami. I like what the team does. And even in the Eagles game, they looked good offensively at times. Like, they looked dynamic. Tyreek Hill was kind of doing whatever he wanted. That part is good. But in the NFL, to win in a sustained way, to really compete, you do have to have good or at least above average line play. And your defense has to exist. Miami, unfortunately, is struggling in all those areas.
They looked the part, but you put them on the road against Buffalo and Philadelphia, and what is Miami? They had 1 touchdown drive. In fairness, though, they've got a lot of good players. The O-line's banged up. They were missing 5 starters on offense. Don't sell all your Miami stock. They lead the...
Agreed. Don't sell the stock. Again, they lose at Philadelphia and at Buffalo. Big deal. If they just got to take care of business against the good teams at home. They have to beat Buffalo at home, and they have time to figure things out. With an offense that good, a couple tweaks here, a couple tweaks there, if you trust in Vic Fangio to figure out the defense, Miami still could be the team that a lot of us, including me, thought they were.
The NFL in scoring, they play, especially when they play at home, better weather. They're no fun to play. One of the only teams that can outscore the best teams like Kansas City and Baltimore in this league.
Yeah.
But again, there's a lot of fake gold watch quality to Miami where they play a certain way. They're a heavyweight with a glass chin. They fold quickly. I have them at 10.
Number 9.
I don't love Dallas, but I do.
I'm kind of the same way with Dallas. I don't love them, but they are they're kind of poorly consistent. Like, they're consistent, but not in a good way. They're consistent in being boring. They're consistent in, being in big spots, but losing them, never getting over the hump. But at this point in the top 10, I kind of need boring yet consistent. I kind of need Dallas. I need a playoff team who's not a true threat to win the Super Bowl. I need a team that's not really great on offense and not really great on defense. I need someone like Dallas. That's why I have them. Where do I have them? 8, I think, on my list. Let's get rid of this one. I have them at 8. Yeah. So at the end of the day, are they great? No, but you got to fill out the top 10.
I think when they play a certain way, they're good, but they're also the most penalized team. They're highly dependent on CeeDee Lamb. Dak completes 81% of his throws to CeeDee Lamb.
Oof.
And that's where he usually goes in crisis. I don't think they're quite as talented as people think. Again, lots of penalties, played the second easiest schedule.
Yep.
But when they play a certain way, and that's why they're not a great team, when they can play with a lead, they can pin their ears back. Dallas pretty good. I have them at.
Dallas is one of those teams where this season they will always be between 8 and 4. They'll just fluctuate in there. They'll be completely like, oh, you need someone to fill in here, Dallas. You need someone to fill in here, Dallas. They're never going to be higher. They're never going to be lower. That's the Dallas Cowboys.
9.
Number 8.
But I would take Cincinnati because they have Joe Burrow. They've won 3 of 4.
Yep, Cincy is better than Dallas for sure. I have Cincy at 9 because of the way my rankings work. Were they on a bye last week? Yeah, I think they were on a bye last week, so I couldn't move them up that much. And again, guys, like don't forget this. This power rankings is not like let's see here. If Detroit played Cincinnati tomorrow, I think Cincinnati would probably win that game. But the way the power rankings work, this is where the teams go because of how they were previously ranked. So don't look at it like 6 is better than 7. It's just a ranking as far as like how they've played this season versus where they previously were ranked. I think Cincinnati is better than Dallas. I think Cincinnati at the end of the season will be top 5. But their early season struggles is why I still have them at 9. Early in the season, they were down here at 27 or whatever, and they were the lowest scoring team in the league. Joe Burrow got healthy. They're putting together some wins. They're getting it done. They're not fully back yet, so they're steadily climbing.
They're getting healthy coming off a bye. They give you a consistent pass rush. They have the hardest remaining schedule, and it would be nice if they were not so dependent on Jamar Chase. So
he says that about the schedule. I'm pretty sure they play San Francisco and Buffalo pretty soon. San Francisco is not all that great right now with the injuries and with Sam Darnold, and Buffalo is having trouble as well. So strength of schedule, they do have a hard strength of schedule. They do play some tough teams, but getting a weakened San Francisco and a weakened Buffalo, that could be huge.
3 games, 10-plus targets. It'd be nice if somebody else could deliver beyond Burrow and Jamar Chase, but they get a consistent pass rush. They're good situationally. Burrow's amazing, so I'll put them at 8.
Number 7.
Don't sell your Lions stock. They're going to win 12 games.
Okay.
They have the second.
Yeah, don't sell the stock. Lions are sweet. Lions still could get the 1 seed. They got rolled on the road in Baltimore. It happens. It certainly happens. But, last week I said the Lions might be legit the best team in the NFL, or at least one of the 2 best teams in the NFL. When you have a team like Detroit or like Jacksonville who has no prior success at all, no playoff wins, no playoff experience, no nothing, the hardest thing to do is just become great. You have to go through road playoff games. You have to go through huge games, and you have to win those games. You have to get that experience to make that step to be a Super Bowl contender. The Lions, with that loss at Baltimore, kind of showed you they still need to grow a little bit. Now, I think as the season progresses, Detroit's going to move up. They are too talented. The roster's too good. I still like Detroit. If you wanted an opportunity to get a Detroit Super Bowl ticket, now is your time. Buy when people are selling, drop them a little bit, but I think they're controversial yet brave take. I think Detroit is in a better situation coming off of that loss than Miami is coming off of the Philadelphia loss.
Easiest remaining schedule. Number 4 total offense. Number 2 rush defense. As I said, Lamar Jackson is 16-1 against the NFC. If you've never faced Lamar Jackson, it is an avalanche of speed, and you don't know what the hell to do with it. And so this is what Lamar Jackson does. He destroys people out of division the first time they see him. Steelers, Bengals, Browns, get a load of him. Kansas City, you have kind of an idea how to fix the Rubik's Cube. Detroit's fine. Great O-line. I like a lot about them. Don't sell your stock. They're going to host a playoff game. They're going to win a playoff game. I have them at 7.
Yep.
Number 6.
I can't believe I have the Steelers at...
No way. This is crazy. I mean, Pittsburgh has done nothing to be there. I'm guessing Colin's going to say because Deontay Johnson is back, the offense is going to be way better, and Kenny Pickett will be way better, and whatever else. I'm not buying it. The rushing offense is horrific. I think they have maybe one. Was Kenny Pickett's sneak this week the first rushing touchdown they have? They can't. Najee Harris is non-existent. No way am I putting Pittsburgh even in the top 10, much less up here.
6. This defense, though, 54 straight games under 400 yards. But if you dig deep, here's what's fascinating. Kenny Pickett is good in the fourth quarter. 5 fourth quarter comebacks. 6 game-winning drives in his last 18 starts. Some of these games shouldn't be that close. But Kenny Pickett in the fourth quarter this year, and this is a real thing for a young quarterback. He's got some swag and confidence. A 103 passer rating. This team, they didn't play well this weekend and won. They beat Baltimore. Pittsburgh's got an ability in which this is what the good teams do.
Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin will always be above 500. Mike Tomlin has never had an under 500 season. So this is normal for Pittsburgh. But the dangerous thing with these teams, just like with Cleveland, is when you say, oh, their defense is this. Oh, they have a generational defense. Oh, they have a historic pass rush. When they get rolled, like Cleveland just did against Gardner Minshew, what do you do with them? What do you do? So to say Pittsburgh is 6 and he's heralding this defense and whatever, if they don't hold up to their end of the bargain, then what do you do with this team? Because Kenny Pickett in this offense is not a top 6 team in the NFL offense.
To scuff around for 2.5, 3 quarters and win, sometimes on the road. Pittsburgh, I can't believe it at 6.
Number 5.
Jacksonville, 13-5 in their...
Jacksonville is sweet. Jacksonville had a tough stretch there, and not only did they get through it, they dominated it. Huge respect. Trevor Lawrence, we thought was going to be hurt going into the Saints game. LOL. They got pieces all over the place. Calvin Ridley doesn't even get used. I mean, their offense is rolling, their defense is rolling. They're only going to get better. Peterson coaches better, has a better winning percentage in the back half of the season than the first half of the season. Jacksonville's legit. Jacksonville is a team that could make a run. They got the pieces, and they're playing. They navigated the tough waters. They navigated London. They came back, won the divisional game, won against New Orleans on short rest. Very, very impressed. Very, very impressed with Jacksonville for sure. So, I mean, they got something going on there.
Their last 18 games lead the NFL in takeaways. Trevor Lawrence, for the record, in his last full season of games, 16, 17 games, has a 100 passer rating. He's really good.
He's really good.
I still feel like they're in a rebuild a little bit, although I don't think they are. But I think they've got the weapons. I think they can win by shootout. The only team I don't think they can beat is Kansas City.
Number 4.
San Francisco. Again, don't sell all your stock. But
yeah, I mean, don't sell the stock, but be cautious. Because if these injuries are real and these injuries are a thing, it'll derail a season. It's derailed San Francisco every year, seemingly. McCaffrey's hurt. I mean, he seems to be okay, but he's still hurt. Like I said, Trent Williams is hurt. Deebo Samuel's hurt. Now Brock Purdy's hurt. It's a lot. So San Francisco is one of those teams that, when healthy, is talented, but they aren't healthy. So we have to grade them as they are right now. So the team that Colin dropped is going to be Buffalo. The Buffalo is the because usually we have about the same 10, but him throwing Pittsburgh in there, he's got to eliminate 1. And Buffalo is going to be the team that he drops.
We do get a reality check on Brock Purdy, who I've said, I think he's good, but I don't think he's very good. Brock Purdy in the fourth quarter this year, passer rating of 54. Brock Purdy, when trailing in the fourth quarter this year, passer rating of 17.
Yeah, but what's that sample size? Like, when have they been trailing in the fourth quarter? The last 2 games? So you're going to give me a very small snapshot of the last 2 games and act like that matters at all? Not a great stat.
What we saw last night, What makes a special quarterback an Elway of Brady and Mahomes is the ability, fourth quarter, nothing's working, missing pieces, win. Brock can't do that. That's why he's good. But he doesn't even qualify as very good.
Number 3.
Philadelphia. They've lost a turnover battle in 3 straight games. That worries me. They are sloppier this year. Jalen Hurts, 10 giveaways. Not healthy.
They're definitely sloppier, and now Hurts is banged up. So understand why he has him at 3. Philly is just one of those teams where they're doing something that people cannot stop. They're doing something that travels. They're doing something that dominates. They have not played well, and yet they are absolutely rolling, and they're beating a really good team. So at some point, you got to tip your cap and say, okay, until someone stops them, you have to put them up there. I mean, they took apart Miami, took apart the Miami Dolphins. No problem at all. With a banged-up Jalen Hurts and not playing that well.
Limping. That worries me.
The one negative, I guess you could say about Philly is that you can throw on them. Their secondary is nowhere near as good as last year, but, you know. But
it's a stacked roster. A.J. Brown has emerged like we knew he eventually would as a star. The defense does not allow big plays. They went and got a safety on the back end. They've been dinged up at the safety spot, so they remain a really good roster, smartly coached. I thought the last 2 weeks they found an identity offensively finally.
Number 2.
Kansas City, 6-1, right?
Huge jump here for Baltimore. You know, I get it to have Baltimore 1, KC 2, but KC, man, what a team! I mean, it's just crazy how it's like when you think that you figured them out, they just win. And similar to Philly, when we're trying to find some consistency in the NFL, when nothing is constant, you got to celebrate the constant. And KC is a constant. They have to make a move for a receiver at the deadline. It cannot be all Travis Kelce all the time. If they get a receiver, they are probably your Super Bowl champions.
6-0 since that loss to the Lions. It is absolutely the fastest defense and arguably the best in the Mahomes era.
Definitely the best.
They dominate their division. Chargers are off as usual. Raiders are average. Denver's a bit of a mess. 13 straight wins against their division. I don't think they have a great receiving core, but the Chargers, Brandon Staley made sure it looked like it in the first half this weekend. Kansas City at 2.
Number 1.
Listen, I've been saying this for the last 3 weeks. Baltimore is great.
Yeah,
Lamar
really
Jackson,
Lamar Jackson is playing at an MVP level. We talked about it before the season. We talked about it every week here. I've been saying Baltimore is the team I would pick to win the AFC. In the Super Bowl, I talked about wanting Super Bowl tickets on Baltimore. Lamar is an MVP. He is the MVP right now. He's playing insane. Can their weapons? Can he carry those weapons? That's the question right now. Can he carry the weapons to the Super Bowl? Lamar is unreal. Mark Andrews is really good. Baltimore is another team that if Denver is dealing Jerry Jeudy, Baltimore needs to go take a look at him. If some of these teams are dealing receivers, Baltimore needs to go make some moves. If running backs are available, go get them. Baltimore has a window to win the title right now. They have a chance. Will they take it?
This is easily the best version of him. To me, he is the second most dangerous quarterback to face beyond Patrick Mahomes. And this organization is well run, but they've been real spotty. No depth at wide receiver.
Yeah. Yep.
Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, Nelson Aguilar's making plays. Mark Edwards. This is the best Lamar. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, go get some help. Go get Lamar some help, and this team can win the Super Bowl. The front office has to do it. Pretty similar lists again. I gave the Bills one more chance. Colin told them to GTFO. Get down in the comments below. Let me know where I was right, where was Colin right, where I was wrong, LOL, and where Colin was wrong. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.